In competitive gaming, momentum across the board with every game plays a pivotal role in winning matches. Now, if you're familiar with MOBA games like League of Legends or maybe Dota 2, then you probably heard of the term snowballing. Now, normally snowballing isn't necessarily applicable to tactical shooters. However, Valorant is definitely a special case because of the presence of ultimates. So today, we're going to be diving into this simple trick that forces enemies to vote surrender. Now, first up, we have to talk about what exactly is snowballing. It basically refers to any situation where you gain an early advantage, and your team capitalizes on that advantage to maintain the momentum and build an increasing lead. This makes a lot of sense with MOBA games because the more EXP and the more gold you gain early on, the more you can cement that advantage, thus snowballing your lead. But how exactly does snowballing apply to Valorant? The short answer is ultimate progression. Ultimates in Valorant play a massive role in determining how a round can and should be played. No matter the economic situation of the team, having certain ults available can easily make up for the disadvantage of having cheaper guns, low to no armor, and incomplete utilities. Breach's Rolling Thunder here is what I'm talking about. KO's Null Command, and so is Hunter's Fury, are just a few of the ultimates to be worried about for side executes and post-plant setups. And with Valorant's recent, quote, utility dump meta, you also have to worry about ults like Tejo's Armageddon and Vice's Rose Garden, which are just too good at leveling the playing field here. Now, as much as Valorant is also a tactical shooter, ultimate usage, apart from other utilities, matters a lot more than you may think it does. Now, if it doesn't, why else would Riot nerf agents by increasing their required ult points? And the fact that you can gain ult progression by killing, dying, getting an ult orb, as well as planting and defusing the spike, just proves that this mechanic is a pivotal tactic in the game. Now, we can all argue that ultimates don't matter if you can clutch or win thrifty rounds, but at the end of the day, we'd rather sit on an advantage like ultimates than rely on the ability to overcome a stack of odds against you. Now, while snowballing rounds can also mean building up your team's economy and keeping it under control, this is a concept that mostly applies to utilities. And in Valorant's case, ultimates to be specific. The most pivotal step in snowballing is being able to win the pistol round. During Pistol, you don't have to worry too much yet about who gets the kill and whatnot and all that. What your team can focus on is who to give the ult orbs and plant to. Say you've got a Breach or a Gecko on your team. Both Rolling Thunder and Thresh are super powerful ultimates you can capitalize on when attacking. Allowing them to grab that orb and plant it will already secure 2 ult points before the round ends. At that point, it doesn't matter if they die as long as your team wins the pistol round. Even if they fall, they still gain another ult progression anyway. Any additional kills from either agent will just be a lovely bonus on top. After winning the pistol round, this is when you start to really cement your snowballing strategy. Observe who among your team has the most ult progression and what particular ult that is. Then, do your chosen side execute as per usual, but try to incorporate giving that ult orb and plant to the agent who's nearest to their ult. Once you're able to secure the site, you can either play time for a bit or aggress further to farm kills for the ult progression. To do this strat properly, you can either 1. Have the player whose ult you're farming wield only a Ghost, Sheriff, or whichever sidearm you're able to carry from winning the pistol round to avoid losing valuable guns, or number 2, do synergized aggression with the team by layering utilities to prevent getting caught by ratty positionings and cheeky crossfires. Now, if done correctly, this strat's going to give your team an available ult to your disposal on the enemy's buy round, or at least put you 1 or 2 points away from it. Your team can keep cycling that along with other agents to maintain ultimate availability in the coming rounds. Now, if you're struggling with winning the pistol round, then that is definitely a problem we are all very familiar with, including me. With limited utility, pistol round is considered one of the most mechanically demanding rounds in the entire game. One headshot can easily sway the round, and if you're lacking in the aim department, well, it's going to be pretty rough for you. Luckily, over at SkillCapped, we have worked with professionals to create 3 world-class aim courses that are designed to take you from this, well, to this in as short as 3 months. At the end of the day, Valorant's an FPS game, and if you can't shoot straight, well, you can't snowball. Nobody wants to bottom frag every single game, and the best part is you really don't have to. We're confident any one of you could achieve immortal level aim, and in fact, we believe in that so much, we even offer a rank improvement guarantee, meaning if you don't climb using our service, well, you don't pay. So if you're tired of bottom fragging and you're really looking to snowball matches today, be sure to check out SkillCapped using the discount link in the description below. So what I'm going to do here is try to paint a vivid image of snowballing by checking this insane snowballing strategy from EDG against Trace Esports back in Champions 2024. EDG starts bind on the attacking side, leaning toward B site. In hindsight, the play is nothing too extraordinary, just a slow contact as EDG scales up to pinch the B site. Kang almost got caught by a trap play from Hookah and the teleporter, but he managed to hold his ground despite getting caught by the grab net. Now he does eventually fall, but since B-Long's pinch was successful, the trades came out instantly. Nobody on Gecko plants with Wingman and gets the pick on the enemy Brimstone, leaving the round in a 1v4 scenario. Finally, Cypher falls into the hands of Nobody, giving him 3 ult progressions in the first round. And right now, we're going to have our eyes on Nobody and how quickly he can get his Thrash online. Moving on to round 2, we see a full buy coming from the side of EDG, except on Simon, who only has a Ghost. Despite having the gun advantage, EDG takes it slow by running a default, just trying to bait out any info they can get from the defensive side. Eventually, they decide to take A with a well-synchronized side execute. Nobody gets a pick thanks to the Brim getting tagged by Fate's Haunt, and once again, plants with Wingman. At this point, Trace is left with 3 players on an eco round, which would likely mean that they're just waiting for the spike to take them out so as to not give any more ult points. However, since EDG already noticed that Nobody is 2 away from his Thrash, he lets him hunt for more kills. Nobody leaves his Bulldog to Simon and starts to press forward with a Ghost. This is a really smart decision because even if he doesn't get a pick, he's not going to lose any valuable gun and he's going to be able to gain at least 1 ult point. And that would already be a win-win situation regardless of the outcome. But since Nobody was clean with it, he gets 2 kills without dying, giving the team that much-desired Thrash for Trace's buy round. So now we enter Trace's buy round with EDG having the most ideal predicament on their side. 1, the anti-eco round was flawless. 2, they get to carry out all the invested guns. 3, Nobody has his Thrash ready for their disposal. This time, EDG focuses all their forces on Hookah. Kang gets the first blood on Brim, giving his team easier access to site. As soon as they make their way on Hookah, Nobody sends Thrash toward B long and catches the enemy Deadlock. However, Skye doesn't get detained, allowing her to defend Deadlock for 2 kills before she gets traded out. Now, even though Skye made the round more winnable for Trace, EDG had already secured the site, making it difficult to retake, especially since Snakebite, Mosh Pit, and the second activation of Thrash are still available for post-plan. Raze is still going to be left on his lonesome, forcing Trace to save the last Vandal they invested in on their buy round. Supposedly, Trace's buy round is the advantage they were looking for to answer back to EDG, but since EDG centered their strategy on Nobody farming his ult, they were able to utilize Thrash efficiently to even their odds against 5 players on a full buy. Now, with a 3rd consecutive round going in EDG's favor, surely the snowballing stops there, right? Well, unfortunately for Trace, not quite. Trace is, once again, left with no choice but to save in preparation for a full buy on the next round. But if we take a closer look at EDG's ult progression, we see impending doom on the horizon as Kang is 3 points away from his showstopper and Smoggy 4 away from his orbital strike. Again, EDG goes for a slow contact, but this time on A. They're able to take site safely, and despite Chi-Chu getting picked, the team remains composed as they secure the site. Brim falls to Simon, Kang trades out Nobody, Smoggy gets the jump on Deadlock but falls shortly after. The 2 remaining players are then cleaned up by Kang. In the most basic sense, this is another round secured by EDG, but in the bigger picture, they have another tide-turning ult available on Trace's gun round. On top of that, Smoggy is 2 points away from his orbital strike. So again, EDG starts with a towering advantage against Trace's second full buy. In this round, we see a similar approach to EDG's pistol round as they do another B pinch. Kang gets the first pick, but unfortunately he gets traded out instantly, removing any chance for that showstopper to be used in the second round. Now surely you'd think that this makes it easier for Trace to answer back though, right? I would. Sadly, no. Smoggy trades out Kang, gets the ult orb and B-Long, and just like that, Trace is fighting against another tide-turning ult. Simon gathers info by sending a Prowler toward Tube. The Prowler engaging contact on Skye was all they needed to initiate a devastating combo that Trace could not have anticipated. Simon threw a perfectly placed seize, then Smoggy follows up with the orbital strike. The result was absolute cinema, man. 2024 was insane. Yes, Kang didn't have the chance to use the showstopper, but Smoggy's orbital strike was there to fill the gap. And to make matters worse for Trace, they're still going to have to face that showstopper eventually, whether that comes out in round 6 or the next ones. Oh, and did I mention that nobody is once again 2 points away from having his Thrash available? The cycling of the ults was just too good for EDG, and they were able to make the most out of it whenever they're available. This went on for 7 consecutive rounds until Trace was finally able to get on the scoreboard. However, it wasn't until they've already exhausted all their timeouts, which isn't ideal, especially when you're down by that many rounds. To Trace's credit, the map ended at 7-13 in favor of EDG. They were able to bounce back for a bit, but the deficit proved to be too much to conquer, ultimately giving the victory to EDG. This match and EDG's strategy is a living proof of how snowballing can really win you matches. Sure, every round in Valorant is definitely winnable, but those who are able to create advantages like these, they're greatly rewarded. And witnessing EDG capitalize on that strategy was honestly just too good to watch, man. All right, though, guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and we think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's kind of like a gym membership guaranteeing you that you're gonna get ripped. Your local gym would probably go bust if they offered you that. But not us, because we've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. We add new courses every month with over 1,000 guides curated into over 50 courses. No one can compare. We also have a direct line of communication with subscribers in our Discord so that you can get connected immediately to some of the best players in the game who will respond to every question you ask. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you're serious about improving your game. So that's going to be all for this one today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.